Ladies and gentlemen, I have 31 hours left in my monthly fundraiser, so I can continue to bring you THORnews, some of the best hurricane coverage in the universe. So if you'd like to contribute, I got a snail mail, a PayPal, a Venmo, a CashApp, a Patron, and only $1,119 to go with 31 hours left. Now let's get to the information as I'm putting out a red alert. From the very first time I peeped the storm and told you all about it about 11 or 12 days ago, the thing that concerned me the most was the rain. And now models are starting to show a heavy head of rain within the storm itself. And so this would be the 6th of June, the GFS approach. And watch how we're going backwards. And so on the 5th, it comes off the Yucatan Peninsula. It heads pretty much north to the Mississippi River, where it meets Mississippi and Louisiana. And notice that is a heavy chunk of rain. And then just the size of it would stretch from pretty much to Texas all the way down the shaft of Florida. And then here it has it hitting into Louisiana as a Category 1 hurricane, but still it's the size of the storm and it's the amount of rainfall this puppy could put out that has concerned me. And most models have most of the rain going into the panhandle of Florida. So this is the GFS. The CMC has around the 6th, it having a giant rain band at the head of the storm as it then pushes up and pushes into Louisiana as about a Category 1 or a very sloppy tropical storm, but it would still be massive. Now the nav gem, look how it fell up almost the entire Gulf of Mexico with rain on the 3rd. And then it moves. See, that thing is just pouring out rain, just even before the storm starts to move up. And it also has the giant chunk of rain. So even though I think it's going to be a Category 2 hurricane, the wind is not the main factor here that I'm worried about. It is the rain. It is going to put out ungodly amounts of rain. But with about 5 days or 4.5 till the event, models are locking in on its path. And most of them are showing the big toe of Louisiana, which would pour a lot of rain into the Mississippi rivers. We know we've been having river flooding problems. And look at how this whole storm stretches out. The icon has it coming off the Yucatan Peninsula as a Category 2. And I would say if the models have a Category 2, that means it can be a Category 3. We call it worst case scenario. You can go up at least one step. And so it's a pretty big storm. It also has the giant chunk of rain in it that all the models are showing. And then, this only goes to the 7th, the icon. But the 7th, this has it as a Category 2. And it still has our giant chunk of rain where the head of the storm, or the eye of the storm, would go into Louisiana, I would guess. And then, but most of the rain goes into this giant cove. And this is the Euro, the King Euro, and it has it approaching on the 7th. And although the King Euro has it still dipping west over the center of Louisiana. And then that would almost be like Barry's path all over again. I don't know if you remember Hurricane Barry last year. Selena tore it to shreds. It's a whole story I'll tell you sometime over margaritas. But then it still has quite a bit of strength as it moves over Arkansas. And so one thing I have seen the models do repeatedly is even as the storm makes land, it maintains strength. That may sound strange, but it's called the Brown Ocean effect. And we saw it in Hurricane Harvey, where it was basically tropical strength storm as it hovered over us. So this thing is still going to pack a punch even when it's over land. And I've been telling y'all, if there's one thing I got to look at to figure out how bad this is going to be, that this is the precipitable water map. And look at that, dude. Look at how much pink is in it. And pink is the super heavy rain. You can get up to 3 inches of rain an hour, if not higher. And so even though it's going to dip down and then it's supposed to come back up, this is going to put a lot of rain into the Gulf. Right now, this whole area, like Belize, Uruguay, Guatemala, parts of Mexico, are getting just some horrific, life-threatening flooding. Say some prayers for those people, please. Texas is been getting some surprise rain, but this thing is just going to be a monster. It's going to be a monster storm. Regardless of hurricane intensity, it's going to be a monster storm that brings about some super nasty rain and flooding. So yeah, this is a red alert video. This is a red alert storm, and it's not just for state, it's for the Gulf. I mean, this is water vapor. And look how much water vapor is pouring out of the volcanic mountain ranges of Mexico, Guatemala, and Colima. Wait, Colima is the volcano. And so something is causing this to just pour water out like a wound. And so we've got like 4 days to prepare. And I still think it's not necessarily the hurricane winds that are going to be the problem. It is going to be the flooding and the river flooding. And so take precautions now. Start to do what you can to get ready. Because here's the main chunk we are watching. And then I've got a Jedi feeling we're going to see another hurricane probably about 10 days later. We'll focus on that more in 2 weeks or in like a week. We'll go one at a time. Look, man, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, don't care in politics. I think we can both agree that 2020 keeps continuing to escalate in challenges and energy. And so I got a feeling now this hurricane season is going to be one for the ages. And remember, it's kind of seasonal. So at the early parts of June, the hurricanes start to come out of the Gulf of Mexico and the Central American Gyre. And then later, as time progresses, the hurricanes start to come off of Africa. And so we can just take a look over at Africa now. If I can go. It's got a ton of moisture. All right, my computer's fighting me, which is part of the course of 2020. Right there, see that? That is a ton of moisture that is coming off of Africa. Not really a concern now, but it's something to watch out for later in the season. This is your basic cone. This is a good basic cone, but we think like the storm will be counterclockwise, and so the heaviest rain and rainfall will be on the right side, and storm surge. New Orleans, I would definitely start getting ready. And the Mississippi River, we need to start watching that now. This is going to be a major storm, man. It's going to be giant. All right, this is probably the best illustration yet to why I am putting out a super red alert. Because here's the Gulf, and here is your whole storm. You see that? And so this thing is going to get bigger. It's going to wind up, and it's going to hurricane out, and it's going to spin up to the Gulf. And it's going to cause a whole lot of flooding. So please be prepared now. And definitely, like if you've got to load up on bottled water and stuff like that, it's better to do it before everybody else does it. And as you know, there have been supply issues already through 2020. I'll keep you guys updated. Like, totally. It's what I do. And so between this image and that image, that is all I need to warn you. I think there's a ton of moisture and a giant storm headed your way if you're in the Gulf. It is definitely going to cause major flooding problems from Louisiana all the way to Florida, even into Georgia. So please plan and prepare now. I'll do what I can to keep you guys posted. And, if you can, support THORnews. I'm the guy that gave you 2 weeks warning on this, and I will be doing everything I can to keep you updated, you and your family safe, and I will sprinkle funny, cool, and inspirational videos in between the weather videos as well. But it's weird that I can run away from the plague and the riots to hurricanes now. And usually hurricanes is the thing that stresses me out. 2020 is wild. But I love y'all of Asteroid Fight Club. You guys have been cool, amazingly. You saved me every time. I got $1,119 left to go with 31 hours left. Super duper thanks to JL. You know you are awesome. Athena, Renee, Jarell, Lynn, Lightsoul, Patricia, Paula, Trisha, Matthew, Mary, Rachel, Tawny, Jenny, Mitch, David, Shermanator, Freddie, Visitus, Jose, Super Jess, Siri, and the mystery super chat person. You guys, y'all are incredible, and I love you so much, and I thank you, and I will be doing what I can to bring you guys the best information possible. And, I'll freak out a little, I'll tell some jokes, and I'll try to keep a cool head on my shoulders, and I'll stay cool, calm, and collected. But prayer never hurts, and I think it helps a lot. So pray for better days for all of us. Peace out, and God bless everyone.